Hello, my name is Ben. Welcome to my channel. I just thought I'd make a quick video here because I was experiencing some difficulties setting up my old Sony A7S to be used as a webcam until I get a cam link or something like that. I wanted to show people what the quality looks like now that the software has been out for a couple of months. The software I'm talking about comes from this particular website, which I'll leave a link to below. It's the Imaging Edge Webcam software, which means you're able to use your particular Sony cam mirrorless as a webcam, which is quite handy. You don't need a cam link or any of the video capture hardware. Although there are a few disadvantages, and you'll be able to see that in a number of different other videos that have come out about the software. But specifically, when I was looking through, I wanted to see, can I use my Sony A7S? It shows up on the list. You have to know the weird name that it comes by. So this is the model number. I haven't actually noticed a difference between the different software because I have a ZV-1 as well. When you click on the link and download the software, for me it doubled up regardless. So I'm not sure if there is much of a difference, but regardless, you find your model in the list, you download the software, you install it, which I went ahead and did. What happened next was that I had any number of difficulties actually trying to get it working, but it's good to have a look at the instructions. It doesn't specifically mention the 7S, the old model. It's got this, the 7S M3, turning off all this stuff. The menus that I have in my A7S, obviously I don't have. You don't even have the network folder to have a look through, but there is a PC remote option that you can, or that you should turn on. You don't have control with smartphone in the old menu, so that's not required, just the PC remote. Connecting the USB, making sure it's in auto mode, which I never ever use, so that was the main thing that tripped me up. Also, it doesn't really mention, it does say for the 7S up here to make sure you put it in auto mode. So you put it in auto mode first and turn it on after you've set it to auto mode. So you really need to use the auto mode, turn it on, and then you can use your capture software. So I'll do that now and I'll be able to show you. Okay, so what I've got here is website tool whereby, which is just a pretty cheap way to conduct web conferences, etc. So this is a good test. It works pretty similarly to any of your standard web conference software. The only difference is that it works in a browser. Not promoting it in any particular sense, but just so you know, it's pretty simple. All I need to do is select which camera source. At the moment it's defaulting to snap camera, which is why you're not seeing anything. At the moment I've got my A7S set up ready to go. It's just turned off, but the dial is set to auto. So I'm going to flick it on and it'll say that the USB is connecting, but nothing will actually show up on the rear of the monitor itself, or the UEF, until I say where I want to connect to, in which case it flicks over and finds me. Obviously the difficulty here is it's on auto mode, it doesn't know what to focus on. Mine tends to jump around a bit, which is why I pretty quickly take it off the focus mode. But this gives you an idea. The particular quality, the resolution, you get the good depth of field obviously from the full frame. This is a 24 by 70 I think lens or thereabouts, so obviously the advantage of using the software is that you can use your good quality lenses and change them around depending on what it is that you want to do, and mess around with all of the good features that your camera has. For example, this A7S obviously has some really good low light performance. So if I do have really bad lighting, which at the moment obviously I only have natural lighting, then I can adjust it. The main downside is that this particular older model of camera doesn't have a screen at the back that I can articulate around and have a look at. But As long as I get everything set up previously, then that's not so much of an issue. And there you have it. I'll include some samples of what happens when I use the other camera I've got, the ZV-1, just so you can get a comparison. That one won't do all this weird auto-focusing stuff, but yeah, you should be able to then get a decent idea about what you're likely to get out of this particular software. Okay, so now using the Sony ZV-1, something else worth bearing in mind is that if you do happen to have two cameras set up, so two different USB cables, or switching the cable back and forth between the two of them, what you find you might need to do, certainly I find what I need to do, is you need to quit all of the applications that you're using that may be using the video link. So for me, I had to turn off my capture software, I had to shut down this website so that nothing was drawing from the camera signal, and then you may need to use the USB reset little application that comes along with this capture software, and that sort of just clears the line so that you can then accept a new connection. So I've set up my ZV-1 in kind of the same angle. I do the same things I've done before, so the other camera's off. I haven't tried broadcasting both at the same time. I don't really know what would happen. I'm not sure what result to expect, and I don't think it would be particularly good either way. So change to Edge, and immediately it pops up. It's a lot faster typically on the ZV-1 than it is on my Sony A7S. That kind of, I guess because it's a little more old school, it doesn't really give me the feedback that I'm kind of after, but the ZV-1's a lot more modern. It's built for this kind of purpose, so here's the quality you get out of that particular camera as well, which obviously isn't, it's different, but it's not too far off what you get for the A7S. So it's really going to depend. Like for me, the main thing I guess is the fact that the ZV-1 it powers itself with the USB as well. The A7S you need to either have batteries or a dummy battery cable, which I do have. The other factor is that the A7S is super heavy compared to the ZV-1. You're going to need to either just put it on a desk or something like that, or a tripod, a decent tripod. I have a smaller tripod for the ZV-1 which can support its weight pretty easily, but the A7S just causes it to crumple, so particularly if you've got a heavy lens mounted onto it. So swings and roundabouts really. Any other questions, pop them below. There might be some other people like me who have these old school cameras, want to see if they work and what the comparison is like between that older camera and a newer camera that's not a full frame and it's not a variable lens, all of that sort of jazz. So if you are in that very specific circumstance like me, then thanks for watching, and yeah, let me know if you have any other questions about the setup. Thanks very much, goodbye.